What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? L.A.R movement still moving. As you can tell by the title, this is why a clown can't be a leader. Um, I saw the thing about um, sweetie pies, where the son of the owner is arrested and accused of putting a hit out on a nephew years ago, and they just arrested him for it last yesterday or the day before, something like that. And this is problematic in so many ways. What's up, Cam? What's up, Ron? This is problematic in so many ways because, you know, everybody gonna get this smoke today. Because I'm gonna just say some things and I'm not gonna cuss because people are at what's up, Kevin? It might be at work or around kids. But basically the guy's accused of putting collecting on an insurance policy that he put out for his nephew. Now, this is what I mean by a clown. Now, all these are accusations and is accused, but so he's going to go through the legal ramifications. But first and foremost, you a clown when you put out a life insurance policy on a kid 20 years younger than you, and his dad's dead, but you're the sole beneficiary. I mean, his if you're gonna do an older person, it should be his mom. I got you, Kevin. It should be his mom. His mom should be the sole beneficiary if something is going to happen to him. But since you buy the policy, and this is from a family who got means, so he got means too. So to do that, it looks suspect. This is why a clown can't be a leader because, just in case the fact that you get a life insurance policy on another human being that's not your child looks like, what are you doing? You know, and him and his mother had already been getting into it because of his business practices. It was good, Aunt. You know, because he had been doing not so good business. So this is the problem with clowns because there's always a a, um, a scam, a back door. I got a plan, and I look at it like with a side eye because at the end of the day, the plan is to get something for doing little to nothing. So you're a clown, you're not a leader. So when a kid dies, the family's broken up and he's there, when they got it on the national TV, and now he's locked up and accused for killing the kid. It's kind of like, bro, what is your problem? Like, seriously, what kind of human being are you? Because at the end of the day, personally, and if I'm not mistaken, the man is a felon anyway. I think he did time for armed robbery. When you put a hit out on your own family, and the kid was visiting, he wasn't living there, he was visiting, then it's one of those situations where, you need to be dealt with. Like I said, I'm not gonna cuss, so I gotta watch myself. But you need to be dealt with because if this guy goes to prison, he's in prison now. I'm sure he's got to watch over his back watch over his shoulder because just the accusation alone is problematic. Now, what I'm about to say from this point on is going to be hard for me. You know, this is the epitome of why a clown can't be a leader. But here's the thing: I get so tired of people, in our community, making guys like this leaders. They gave this guy opportunity to be a leader, and he kept messing it up, knowing that he was a clown. How many mistakes do you need to make? How many crosses? I mean, how many bridges do you need to burn? How many times do you need to mess up for somebody to go, okay, that's enough? Prometheus, what's happening? Sean, what's popping? You know, I'm talking about the sweetie pie, the son of the owner of Sweetie Pies. You know, just type in Sweetie Pies on Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the problem of this whole situation is also we putting people in this position, and I'm a have a quick turn, but I'm gonna get back to it. Like, years ago, I was talking to O'Shea. We was talking about the election, and I told him, I was like, I think President Trump is a clown, you know. But I saw something yesterday, he was a clown for the being able to be a Democrat all these years and then be a Republican just to win and all of the shenanigans that was going on with it. I thought that was some clown behavior, but it represents the country well because we got a country full of clowns. People don't want to say that. But what I saw yesterday was a clip of his wife not wanting to hold his hand and giving him the side eye and making mad faces. And and I gotta admit, saying this, his wife is a clown. Because if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not, one of the reasons he said it, he was going to run for president because his wife believed that you should run and I think you should win. So now that he's the president, she's out here, trying to be different. I don't want to be near you. You part of the reason why he there. You the one that believed in him. Now that he there, now you don't want to talk to him. You're a clown. And this is why a clown can't be a leader or in a leadership position, because clown stuff happens. It's problematic. And one of the issues about clowns is clowns are very emotional. Clowns have ego trips unnecessarily. And and I said it just like that a minute ago. We live in a nation full of clowns who are in powerful positions, whether no matter how small or how big. But this is an example of why a clown can't be a leader. I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, why am I not surprised? I remember the young man in Chicago, the one that killed his mother to inherit the money. He wanted to be a low budget rapper, and he was out here flossing, and now he's doing like 99 years or something like that in jail in Chicago because his mother was his mother owned a beauty shop. She owned a beauty shop, and she had wound up making a nice penny over the years from that beauty shop. But these are the type of people who want to be leaders, because a lot of times we have this ideology that I want to be a boss. I'm a boss. Can't nobody tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. And for some odd reason, people don't understand. They don't make you doing what you want to do. Don't make you a leader, or it doesn't make you a boss, because there's a certain amount of discipline that goes with being a leader. And if your leadership is I do whatever I want and that makes me a boss, then you're a clown. I make my own rules, so I don't follow rules. You're a clown. What's up, Mike? Because at the end of the day, you have to follow some type of rule. Because if you're going to be the leader, the people under you are going to have to follow a certain protocol. And if your protocol is I can do whatever I want when I want, then who are you really a boss of? Who are you really a leader to? Because you all over the place. And now you're going to get mad at everybody who works underneath you is all over the place. You set the tone for that. What's up, Aubrey? This is why a clown can't be a leader. Because some people just want to feel like they're in a position to be leaders. And some people want to be, I mean, I'm not going to say some. A lot of people want to be led. I understand that. But at the end of the day, even if you have the most selfish, self-centered belief system or ideology, you will want to make sure you always get something out of the deal. But see, when you're a clown, the things you want make absolutely no sense in the long run. I want to feel important. I want people to do what I say. I want to be able to be a hypocrite, and people just got to deal with it. It's childish, to say the least. It's very childish, to say the least. But this is where we at. This is where we at. I've seen it far too many times. That's what it is, Aubrey. And this is this is the society we live in, and I'm like, okay, all right, you know, and some of the ladies are saying, this is why I wouldn't follow black men, because when black men get in a position of power, they mess it up. And there are a lot of brothers who have done this over the years, who just want to, I'm in this position. Ooh, let me flex my muscles, and then they do sucker stuff, just straight up sucker stuff. It's funny, oh, and the irony of it is, all this power is just perceived. It ain't really real, but you don't have people willingly willing to do something for you because of how you handle yourself. It's ridiculous. Oh wow! If they want them to lose, hey, it is what it is. If they want to lose, let them. It is. Uh, this country is all over the place. If you personally, I'm like, yeah, let him. He wins. This country is gonna go downhill regardless. Nobody has a plan to put this country on the right track. Nobody. Nobody. You know what? And let me say that about politics. I appreciate that, Prometheus, but um, this is why this country is in the shape that it's in, because the vast majority of its leadership are clowns. Look at the things, you could take the president, the vice president off the table. Look at the Senate. Look at the representatives. Look at the rulings. Look at the quote unquote legal fights that this country is having in the Supreme Court and all the Supreme Court junctions, and appellate courts. It's a lot of clown stuff. Look at all the, when you got businesses, you know, hey, maybe you're right. What's up, Alfred? When you got businesses feeling like I could buy these politicians, that should let you know where we at. When a pack, somebody could come in a pack and say, "Hey, look, I gave you this amount of money. Do what I say." All right, no problem. Then that's a clown. You're a prostitute for a conglomerate or a business to do what they want, and you're gonna fight to do what they want because they just paid you like a prostitute to do what I say, and then you're gonna do it, and you're gonna fight to do it to get another check, right? You're not a leader. You're a clown. And then to turn around and say, I wonder why my country isn't as good as it used to be. A lot of people just don't. The leadership in this country needs to take a good, strong look in the mirror and see ain't no leader in the mirror. Ain't no leader in those buildings. Just a bunch of clowns playing games. What's up, Nine? Omega, what's popping, man? You know, you think it's 3.5 years of things getting better? I mean, you know what? Let me look this up real quick. Omega, not Omega, but Prometheus. Um, let me see what the debt is. The U.S. national debt clock. Where we at right now? Because I could be wrong. Jeez, what the feezy? Okay, the U.S. national debt clock is at 26 trillion and counting. Everything is the so the U.S. is in the red by 26 trillion. The debt per citizen is 80,000. Debt per taxpayer, ironically, is 214,000. U.S. federal spending is in the red by 5 trillion. U.S. budget deficit is in the red by 2 trillion. But it says official and actual. So the actual debt is 6 trillion and the actual deficit is 4 trillion. You get what I'm saying? U.S. Debt to GDP ratio in 1960 it was 52.54%, 80 34.64%, 2000 56.72%, now 136.6%. Interesting, you know. Now tax revenue is in the green, 2 trillion. State revenue, 2 trillion. So revenue per citizen, 8,000. You know, payroll tax revenue is a trillion. Tariff tax revenue is 65 billion. Corporate taxes, wow, is 170 billion. But it's like, okay, this is where we're at. A lot of stuff is in the red. You know, I'm looking at the U.S. population is 330 million. The workforce is, 143 million. There are 100 and it's trying to say 24 million taxpayers. 111, 112 private sector jobs. There's 100 million people not in the workforce right now. 119 million full-time workers. 23 million part-time workers. Officially unemployed is 16 million. Actually, it's 26. The median new home right now is $322. $322,000 rather. The median income in America right now is 34,000 bucks. In 2000 it was 30,000 bucks. There are 15 million union workers. There are almost 24 million government employees. Manufacturing jobs, 12 million. Like I said, the bankruptcies are at 847,000. Living in poverty is 35 million. Living without insurance, 28 million. Foreclosures, 362,000 foreclosures. Medicare, 60 million. Medicare recipients, 79 million. Food stamp recipients, 44 million. U.S. millionaires is 18. There are 18 million millionaires in America. What's up, D-Rock? I can see that. I can see that. J. So this is. I'm looking at the debt calendar right now. Social Security liability is 20 trillion. Medicare liability 31 trillion. U.S. unfunded liabilities, 153 trillion. So that's oh my goodness, 466,000 per citizen in the red. The household assets are in America are 100 trillion. The total of U.S. national assets is 128 trillion. So assets per citizen is $388,000 worth of assets. Now, this means all the greatest minds in this country have utterly failed. All the greatest mathematical geniuses, the financial geniuses, the bankers, the investors, the Wall Street players, all of these people have failed for this country to have a debt like this. For so much of this country to be in the red. Like, okay, U.S. total interest paid is 3 trillion. Bank interest received is 733 billion. The student loan debt is over a trillion. Credit card debt is coming up to a trillion. So student loan debt per student is the average is $38,000. Credit card debt per holder in America, the average is 6,000. This is where we live. It says people's personal debt in this country is $62,000, and basically the savings per family is $24,000. So what that tell you? We're in bad shape, very bad shape, because ultimately this place is run by clowns, suckers, idiots. You know what I'm saying? What's up, DJ Moss? So now we playing it. Gold over 30K. Man, what? Wait, you said gold is over 30K and silver over 4,000 currently on the U.S. debt? Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But this is where we at in this quote unquote America, right? But we owe China. Yeah, absolutely. You say, that's horrible. It is horrible. But we're talking about. I was initially talking about the dude from Sweetie Pies, but he's a clown too. But this is where we're at. A bunch of clowns running everything in this country. And you can't, and nobody can express, why these people can't be leaders, because they got swagger, because they're confident, because they look presidential, because, they've been in this position for decades and decades and ain't nothing got done. Nobody wants to explain, what's going on, because ultimately, let's see. This is total debt to GDP ratio is 153%. Spending to the GDP is 45%. Like, and this is state and local spending. This is hilarious. And by the way, the U.S. GDP is $19 trillion. So basically, if we put the GDP towards the whole GDP towards the U.S. national debt, this country would still owe $7 trillion. Still, this is where we at. Alan, what's popping? Michael, what's going on? Oh yeah, I remember when they got off the gold standard, Ryan. But this is where we at. Country of clowns. Now, appreciate you, Prometheus, for letting me for saying something and letting me go down that road, but because that needs to be said. But this is where we're at in American society. This is where we're at, and everybody wants to run things and do things. Run things to what? Where we gonna go? When they saying the average taxpayer's debt is $200,000, what does that tell you? The average citizen's debt is $80,000. What's the difference? The difference is that means kids who ain't even working and taxpayers in society owe $80,000. That's what that means. People who are under, the age of 16, owe $80,000. Because we got a bunch of clowns running the country. You say, but if you get an evil mind is brilliant, yeah, debt-based economy. And credit cards I knew the credit cards was gonna start defaulting because people were just gonna keep getting credit cards, to pay off one balance, to pay off the next, this, that, and the third. Because people are living off of credit. I knew it was bad with credit when I saw people buying alcohol in the grocery store with a credit card. And when they open their wallet, they got about 4 or 5 credit cards in there. I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is bad. You just had to buy a 12-pack of beer on credit. You couldn't just pull out no cash or a debit card for that. Oh, okay, this ain't good. Because I know most people aren't responsible enough to pay it. Use a credit card and then pay it when they leave the store. It don't make no sense. Unborn debt, offspring, yeah, all that. People are debt slaves. But this is where we at. So let me get back to it. This is why a clown can't be a leader. And see, people want to think because somebody has a stoic stance and they look confident and they look stoic, that makes them a leader. Let me explain something to you. Do you know how idiotic it is to say, oh man, that person stands tall and looks tall and they look like the great American, that makes them a leader? No, that makes them a model. That makes them at best they're a model. At best, you want an image of what leadership looks like. You want it to look a certain way. You want it to be a certain height, a certain size, a certain build. Their hair to be a certain way. That don't equate leadership. So this idea that we've been tussling with in America has really come back to haunt us. It's the equivalent of talking, how can I say? This is the equivalent of writing a check with your alligator mouth that your canary behind can't cash. Now, the ladies, it's the same thing with y'all. This is why a clown can't be a leader. Some of you ladies want to be, you're not good parents. You're not good stewards of children. You're not good at raising children. But you want to be a leader so bad. So bad. I want to have the power of control. And then when your power and your control in the situation doesn't work out too well, then all of a sudden you're looking for a leader. You want to sabotage your life and everybody's life around you because you want to be a clown. Can't nobody tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. Okay, well, how come you keep messing up? See, this is the part about leadership that nobody wants to talk about on a regular basis. We got so many clowns who swear that they're a leader, but they keep messing up. How can you be a leader if you keep messing up? If you can't do something the right way the first time, how are you a leader? If you can't fix what you messed up, when you messed it up the first time, how are you a leader? You're a clown. If somebody got to come around and fix your messes, who's the leader there? The person who's fixing your mess. We live in a country where I can assume that half of the janitors in this country is just as smart as the CEOs of these businesses. That's the assumption. This is where we at. Now, everybody can't be, everybody can't be a leader. Everybody's delusional. And you got to be a clown to be delusional. Going back to people being emotional. When you're emotional, you can't be a leader. You got to be pragmatic. When you're delusional, you can't be a leader. What's up, Chaos? You know, oh man, Ryan, they gotta keep rolling out dollars. It's gonna be inflated like a mug now. I was looking at something. I was looking at houses yesterday. I got on Zillow, and I was just looking at houses in Miami, L.A., San Diego, Vegas, Charlotte. Where else? Nashville, and here in Texas. And I was cracking up. I was like, my God, do you know how much these like houses are ridiculously high now? Ridiculously high. What's up, third degree? I appreciate like you're looking at homes. Like the housing market should let you know how much in dire straits this country is, because now people can't, for the most part, when I had the looked at the calendar, not the calendar, but the debt clock, and it said basically the median salary in America is $34,000. You know what? I know what I'm about to do. I'm gonna look this up. What is the median house cost of a home? First and foremost, what is the median cost of living? The median cost of living in America. Whoa. So the median cost of living expenses in the U.S., excluding rent. That's hilarious. The excluding rent is $1,000. So it depends on where you live. So this ain't answering my doggone question. So I just want to look at this because he got 46 rows of all the states, and I'm gonna see if I can find any state that has a median that matches the median income, which is 34,000. So the American median income is 34,000, and the closest place you're gonna get is Mississippi, where the cost of living is 39. Where it's 39,000. Where the cost of living is 39,000. That's it. So you can live in Mississippi if you make 34,000 and be in debt every year. That's it. That should let you know where we at. Now that's the median cost of living, but I'm gonna find out the median cost of a home in America. I'm just on. I'm on Safari or whatever. Median cost of a house in the U.S. is $226,000. Just where we at. Yeah. I want answers. That's what I'm looking for, fam. My bad. So the median cost of a home in America is $226,000. This is where we at. This is where we at. You was right, around 200K. So now, Cantrell, that's the median cost for a house. Just the median American cost for a house in general. That's how much a house costs in America. You know, of course, median, you give or take a state, California super high, New York super high. I would say the DMV super high, Miami super high, and then you got places like Mississippi, Louisiana not so high, but that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I saw. Prometheus, like, and this is the reason I'm thinking about this stuff. And the guy made me, that situation with the guy murdering his nephew or being arrested for murdering his nephew made me realize a lot of what's going on is basically to be in America right now, you have a financial plan to fail. And this country is run by people who make more money than you and are banking on the fact that they can financially squeeze you out and you're going to need them to fix something. And what I mean by that is that's the definition of a clown. What's up, LJ? Dad said, what's popping? Because if your senator is making six figures, if your representative is making six figures, by working 3 days a week, right? And you're not making what they're making, your company is paying them to do certain things to benefit the company. So you're voting for them in hopes that they're going to help you actually survive so you can have a decent lifestyle in America the same way that the people that make the laws do. And basically their job is to come to you or you to come to them because they squeezing all of the blood out of you as a turnip, right? And now you gotta put them in a position that you remember me, right? These people don't remember nobody. All they remember is they remember money. They don't remember people unless those people are attached to a high income, a big check. So we want to play these games, cool. No, the degree can't get people a house because the student loan debt is out of pocket. If the student loan debt is, oh my goodness, if the student loan debt is 30-something $1,000 a person, and the average, and the median household is $200,000, and the median income at this particular point is $34,000. How you gonna make it? This is why you see more apartments popping up than you see subdivisions. Savage, what's going on? I understand that. I understand that, Nick. But this can but the thing about and I'm gonna say this. We talk about all the groups packing in the house, 10 deep, buying the house, and paying off the house, and somebody keeping the house. The question sometimes is, my concern at this particular point is even if you do that, can you still get ahead? Because at the same time, if you moving somewhere, who's hiring this economy? The streets. That's who hiring, the streets. If you moving around in this economy, you need to get a nest egg. Because I've seen so many people who are business owners and entrepreneurs. I was talking to my mother about this and my lady about this yesterday. I'm seeing businesses, people go out of business during this pandemic. Now, the irony of that is, and I'm seeing people stay afloat during this pandemic, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't ever see nobody really frequent your business, so how are you staying afloat? And then I thought about it, they got the business loan that the government gave out, like a stimulus loan also. But what's going to happen when that money dries up? Can you still keep the doors open? Or are people going to be smart with that money? Because a lot of people are just clowns as far as financially speaking, wanting to be a leader to be extravagant. I want to be in a top position so I could be flashy. And flash ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know, if like lots of people might be hiring, but are people qualified now, or do they care if people are qualified? Because what it looks like is we're going to be at a standstill as far as hiring. Because what about the kids coming out of college? What about the kids coming out of trade school? Is anybody gonna have the money to pay these things? Like, are people gonna wind up being more self-sufficient? Because the cost of living in America has went up astronomically, and in all honesty, it don't make sense. Like, I was talking to somebody about this. Uh, what's the cheapest brand new car you can find? Just what is it? Can you find a brand new car for $10,000 nowadays? Brand new, fresh off the lot, no miles. Because we got all these companies making all these cars too much. How many can be $10,000 or less? Because 10, 15 years ago, you could find one. You could find one 10, 15 years ago. Nah. This is where we at. I think the cheapest car you can find that's new now is probably $17,000. And this is what I mean by clowns can't be leaders is the people that run these businesses, they keep upping the prices if people can afford it, knowing that the country can't. But you leading something, okay? And I've seen this time and time again. What people do is they try to make their whatever a brand. If you pay more for it, it means that it's better. No, it's not. It means I'm overpaying for something because you ain't got nobody buying it. And that's gonna come to an end too. Same way that Hertz is starting to sell cars. If anybody's looking for a car, go to Hertz. They got to sell cars under market value right now because they just got to get rid of them. Because you got clowns running this country. You got clowns running everything, and everything is running into the ground. Because one thing I said earlier in this podcast that remains true, I have not heard of one person, one business owner, one politician who had a plan to fix the American economy. I ain't heard of one yet. This is where we at. What's the plan to turn this around? Ain't none. Not that I've heard. We've got a strong economy. Listen, man, if you're in that big of a debt, nothing's strong. Nothing. Yeah, it's going to be a large 1099 economy because there's going to be a lot of people working for themselves and this, that, and the third and trying to make ends meet. It is what it is. But for now, for everybody who came, like the video, I'm going to get out of here for now because I got to call my goddaughter. She just hit me up, so I got to go. I might come back on later. Thanks for rocking with me. Y'all have a good one.